Hello, my name is Francisca. I work with the Lincoln Commission on Human Rights. And what we do is we investigate allegations of discrimination for employment, housing, and public accommodations. This office has been in existence for about 50 years, and the way we're all protected in one way or another is what we called protected classes. We go out into the community and educate the community regarding their rights. We like to educate our refugee and immigrant communities, in particular because it is important for them to know what their rights are as they're coming into the community as a whole. Okay, so the question was, what does the Lincoln Commission on Human Rights? And I stated before, we investigate employment, housing, and public accommodations. In this particular case, you have two right answers. Aside from the investigations of employment, housing, and public accommodation discrimination, we also make sure that all community members have equal access and opportunity. The Lincoln Commission on Human Rights mission is regarding investigating the discrimination allegations in the community, education and outreach regarding civil rights and responsibilities. And that is very important because it is the only way we can educate our community as a whole. Helping immigrant and refugees resident overcome barriers. What are some of those barriers? Language, cultural barriers, understanding how our system works. And so what we do at LCHR is we make sure that they know how to overcome some of those barriers, including with the language barriers. We want to make sure that everybody is well educated on what their rights are. And then also helping community members be housed. So one way we were doing that was through the TAP program, which is no longer available, but it's also the continued help that we offer when people go through the legal system if they're being evicted or if they're having rental assistance issues. So then we refer them to different resources in the community. Okay, so what is illegal discrimination? Unfair treatment based upon a protected characteristic and being treated different due to something about yourself that you cannot change. So protected characteristics, it could be the color of your skin, your race, your religion, if you're pregnant, and that is more for jobs, but it has happened in housing. And then being treated different due to something about yourself you cannot change. You cannot change the color of your eyes, your stature, the color of your skin, the way you talk, if you have an accent, the color of your hair or how your hair looks. Although you can dye your hair, but you will always have that color underneath. You can straighten your hair, but if your hair is naturally curly, it'll always be curly once you stop trying to straighten it out. So those are some of the examples that I can give you regarding protected characteristics and things that you cannot really change about yourself permanently. Okay, so illegal discrimination. It is when you treat someone unfairly or differently because they have certain identities or things about themselves that they cannot change. We're also going to explore on how some people are treated unfairly, and we'll learn to identify illegal discrimination. Can anyone give me an example of illegal discrimination? So some of the examples of illegal discrimination can be if someone doesn't like your skin color or the color of your hair or your stature. No one is ever going to tell you, I don't like those things about you. So you have to learn what to listen to when people say things to you. So for example, if you're looking at an apartment or a house and you are walking through looking at it, you can usually hear what they're telling you and pick up on whether they're being discriminatory or not. For example, if you have your children with you and as you're looking for a place to live, if a landlord says we are looking for a particular type of family, or we're looking for a particular type of individual, and then what they're really saying is, we're allowing you to look at this place, but realistically, you probably will not be able to rent this unit from them. Why? Because they're never going to tell you they don't really want your children in the apartment or house. Or really what it is that they don't like the color of your skin. No one is going to ever tell you those things straight up. So you need to listen to what people are telling you at the time that you are looking through an apartment. At an employment place, if you're being mistreated or things that are being said to you are discriminatory, or sexual harassment also can be considered discriminatory. And for that, you just need to learn who your supervisor or their supervisors are in order to file an allegation and follow the chain of command. So in a 2-minute challenge, very quickly turn to each other and talk amongst yourselves about if you yourself have ever been discriminated against, or if you've experienced seeing someone being discriminated against. Just turn to one another. You do not need to get up and move. Give you about 2 minutes. Next, you will see a video with an example of illegal discrimination.
Hey, Roger!
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you? How's the new place?
It's excellent. It's just what I was looking for.
Good, glad to hear it, glad to hear it.
Yeah, thank you again for waiving that security deposit. That was very cool.
No problem. I know everybody's having some really hard times right now, so happy to help you out that way.
That's
are you
awesome.
Heading out?
Yeah,
Awesome.
I sure am.
Great. How was your weekend?
So good.
Hey,
Hi.
you're my new tenant.
Yes.
Yeah. What's your name?
Esmeralda.
What?
Esmeralda.
Esmeraldo?
Esmeralda. Yeah.
Okay. I haven't gotten your security deposit yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to drop it off tomorrow.
No, I need it today.
Today?
Today. By 5 p.m. Okay? 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
Understand? 5 o'clock today.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't forget.
I won't.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi.
I'm Roger. Nice to meet you.
Esmeralda.
You new here to the neighborhood?
Yeah, I moved in 205.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, it's really nice complex, right? How are you enjoying it?
It's very, very pretty here.
And hey, the property manager is so cool. I mean, waiving everyone's deposits and everything.
No.
No?
My money needs to be today at 5.
Oh, she waived mine. That's so weird.
Yeah, that's weird.
Well, good luck with everything.
Okay. Thank you.
So what type of discrimination did Esmeralda experience? She faced discrimination in housing based upon her national origin. So, national origin is a discrimination in housing. Esmeralda was being treated differently because of her country origin. It can be any origin for any individual. This is just an example of her experience in discrimination in this video. But if you think about it, any one of us can be discriminated. Then Esmeralda experiencing national origin discrimination in housing. Imagine that any of the protected classes can be considered discriminatory in housing, whether it's your skin color, religion, obviously your nationality, because you speak a different language. These are some of the examples that you can experience. Next, you will see another example of discrimination.
I think Dad's coming home soon.
He gets off at 4.
It's 8:30.
You know, he always does this,
Yeah, let's just give it 20 more minutes and see if he appears.
Okay.
So what type of discrimination was this? Family status discrimination. And what they're saying is that they've been waiting for their father this whole time and he hasn't picked them up. So rules prohibiting or applicable only to children are discriminatory. The father and the children are experiencing family status discrimination, which is illegal in all housing matters. Landlords cannot have rules that only apply to children. They have to apply to everyone, not just children. And remember, if you have children and you live in a housing place, whether it's an apartment or a house, there cannot be rules discriminating against the children, not allowing them to do certain things. Next, you will see another video about a potential renter and discrimination.
Oh, come on in.
Hi, I just wanted to stop in. I saw the sign out front about some rental units available.
Oh, no, we don't got anything.
Oh, okay. I just saw the sign, and so I thought
Yeah, no, I mean, must have just forgot to take that down.
Okay, do you have like a wait list or something? Could I leave my phone number?
You know, let me see. You can just, if you want to just write down your
Okay.
phone number here, I can call you
Okay.
when we get something, but it might be a while.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
So how did this landlord discriminate against the potential renter? He treated her differently than other renters because of her religion. That is the assumption because she has a scarf. But there are some cultural reasons why women wear scarves, or anybody wears a scarf. But in this case, it is regarding religion reasons. So not accepting renters based upon their religion is illegal. Even though the landlord is advertising rental unit availability, he tells the potential renter that wearing a hijab that there are no units available. Refusing to rent to someone based upon their religion or perceived religion is illegal in housing discrimination. Next, you're going to see another video where it talks about a different type of discrimination. Please listen carefully as there is a slight accent on this one, but it is very important on what women face when it comes to discrimination.
Well, Diana's the boss, and she seems to think we should go for the woman. Joanna, isn't it?
Yeah.
Was there someone you thought was better?
Look, the thing is, Karen, I know she fits the spec, and I know you want to employ more women, but can we be practical for a moment? Now, I've got 2 of my best people off on maternity leave right now. 2. Now, the last thing I need is another woman who might go and get pregnant.
She didn't say she was thinking of having children. Look, we don't know, and even if we did,
Of course she didn't say. I mean, why would she say?
it shouldn't make any difference.
Now, look, I'm all for diversity, you know I am, but try to see things from my point of view. Now, how am I supposed to hit my targets when I got people leaving all the time?
So who do you want?
That guy, Michael, ticked all the boxes.
Except experience in our sector.
I know, he'd soon pick those things up. And he was Diana's second choice.
So what should I tell Joanna?
Well, tell her we were worried about the commute. We needed someone who was available at the drop of a hat. And we found another candidate who had the same skills but lived much nearer.
I'm not happy about this, Andy. It's against all our policies. And I'm going to have to put on record that you take responsibility for this decision.
Well, fair enough.
So how did Andy discriminate against Joanna? Andy didn't want to hire Joanna due to her gender. And how do we know that? Because he continued to complain about how his two top sales individuals were out on maternity leave. Except nowadays, maternity leave do not just come to women. There's also males who take maternity leave, whether it's because they've adopted, had a child, and they're also helping their partner. Do you have to be 18 or older to face discrimination? False. Anyone can be discriminated. You do not have to be 18 years old to be discriminated. As a matter of fact, people under the age of 18 tend to be discriminated at a higher rate than adults. And part of it is because they are younger and they tend to not file allegations of discrimination. So you have to learn what your rights are and responsibilities are. What kind of discrimination do high school students experience the most? Workplace and employment. Why is that? Because you're underage. People who are usually underage, we're not considered an adult. And so as adults, we have the responsibility and we have the right to be able to look over our younger employees and make sure that they're not discriminated or mistreated at work. While there could be some instances where individuals under the age of 18 are discriminated in housing, but there are some instances where students or anyone under the age of 18 needs to be on their own and they need housing. And there's always that exception and the possibility of being discriminated. But students tend to experience the most discrimination in the workplace and employment. So know what your rights are when you're working. So just a reminder, discrimination and harassment are against the law. It is illegal. And retaliation is against the law. And remember, it is a negative action taken against an individual because they have filed an allegation of discrimination. So know what your rights and responsibilities are. If you feel like you have been experienced possible discrimination, please contact Lincoln Commission on Human Rights to talk more. And it will be confidential up to a certain extent. Our phone number and website are on the screen. Please note them. And if you have any questions, feel free to always call us and ask those questions. This is a resource for you from our community. And remember, we all have rights.